The screen fades in from black as the gentle hum of a bustling city morning fills the air. Leonard stands before the renovated Hope Outreach Resource Center, a building that now pulses with life and renewed promise. The camera pans slowly over a mosaic of smiling faces, dedicated volunteers, and community members sharing warm greetings as they step inside. A calm, reflective voiceover begins, evoking the memory of a fateful day when one simple act of compassion ignited a revolution of hope. Remember that moment when a Hollywood star knelt down on a crowded subway platform and asked, "What do you need?" That one question transformed despair into determination, isolation into community, and set a powerful chain reaction into motion. Leonard's eyes glisten with both the weight of his past struggles and the brightness of his newfound purpose. In a brief flashback, viewers see him huddled in a dark, cold subway corner, hesitant and alone, until Keanu Reeves appeared, offering not just charity, but genuine care and belief in his potential. That encounter became the spark that propelled Leonard onto a path of recovery and empowerment. Today, as he addresses a group of eager new volunteers gathered in the center's modest meeting room, his voice carries the same conviction that once bridged an impossible divide. Outside, the early sunlight casts long shadows on the pavement, symbolizing the remnants of hardship while illuminating the promise of a brighter future. The energy is palpable, as every person present seems to share in the silent acknowledgement that this is more than a shelter. It is a starting point for transformation. "We are not defined by our past," Leonard declares, his tone firm yet gentle, "but by the strength we find within and the support we give each other." His words resonate deeply, urging everyone to see beyond stereotypes and embrace the potential that lies in every human heart. In that moment, the viewer is invited to step into a renewed chapter of this extraordinary journey. A chapter where challenges still persist, yet hope burns brighter than ever. As Leonard prepares to launch a new initiative aimed at reaching those most in need, the stage is set for trials and triumphs that will test the limits of human resilience. The legacy of that pivotal subway encounter continues to echo, reminding us all that a single act of kindness can indeed be the spark that transforms lives. As the days turned into weeks, the momentum that had begun with that single subway encounter continued to build, expanding the pilot program's reach far beyond the walls of the Hope Outreach Resource Center. The initiative started to weave itself into the fabric of the community, touching lives in neighborhoods that had long been neglected. Leonard found himself at the center of a rapidly growing movement, where the power of human connection was tested against the harsh realities of systemic neglect and bureaucratic inertia. In a modest town hall meeting, local residents and city officials gathered to confront the pressing issues facing underserved areas, and debates erupted over resource allocation, the need for sustainable funding, and the challenges of balancing personal engagement with institutional support. During one such meeting, Leonard stood before a skeptical audience. His voice, steady yet impassioned, recounted his journey from despair to empowerment. "I know many of you have heard my story on television," he began, meeting the eyes of those in the room. "But what you might not realize is that every day, hundreds of individuals are living in the shadows, waiting for someone to recognize their worth." His heartfelt words stirred a mix of nods and murmurs. While some questioned whether a grassroots model could overcome entrenched challenges, Leonard's detailed account of new job placements, successful mentorships, and the introduction of mental health workshops gradually won over even the harshest critics. Behind the scenes, Keanu Reeves continued to offer his quiet support, balancing a hectic film schedule with periodic visits and heartfelt phone calls. One evening, as Leonard coordinated a community outreach event, his phone rang with an urgent message from Keanu. "Leonard, I've been hearing about pushback from local officials over impending funding cuts," Keanu's voice said, laden with concern. "They worry that without increased institutional backing, our progress may stall." Leonard listened, the gravity of the situation deepening his resolve. This news, though unsettling, underscored the necessity to prove that small personal acts of kindness could indeed overcome political indifference. Motivated by Keanu's unwavering belief, Leonard convened an emergency meeting with his core team. In a cramped conference room filled with dedicated volunteers and former program beneficiaries, he outlined a bold new strategy. "We must show our community that our program is not a fleeting experiment," he declared, his gaze steady as he addressed each member. We need to build bridges between our grassroots efforts and larger support systems. This is our opportunity to demonstrate that when people unite, even the most daunting obstacles can be overcome. A surge of determination filled the room as plans were set in motion for a series of town hall events, local workshops, and a robust social media campaign designed to rally widespread public support. A pivotal moment arrived when a local newspaper arranged an in-depth interview with Leonard. Seated in a quiet corner of the center's newly established library, he spoke candidly about his struggles and the transformative impact of the program. "My turnaround wasn't the result of a miracle," he explained, his voice soft but resolute, but a series of deliberate actions fueled by genuine care. The article published nationwide sparked an outpouring of donations and a surge in volunteer sign-ups, solidifying the grassroots approach as a viable model for change. Leonard soon became a symbol of resilience and hope. However, success brought its own set of challenges. As the program's profile grew, so did the complexity of its management. The increased administrative workload, logistical hurdles, and rising expectations from an expanding support network began to weigh heavily on Leonard. There were days when the pressure became almost unbearable and self-doubt crept in. In one particularly difficult week, following delayed funding, miscommunications with partner organizations, and an unexpected personal crisis, Leonard found himself alone in the center's quiet office late at night. Surrounded by stacks of paperwork and unanswered emails, he questioned whether he could bear the weight of everyone's hopes. It was in that moment of vulnerability that Maria, a longtime volunteer who had once been a program participant, appeared at the doorway. "Leonard," she said softly, her warm smile a beacon in the dim light, "you don't have to do this alone. We're all here for you." Her simple words reminded him that this journey was never meant to be solitary. Reinvigorated, he took a deep breath and began delegating tasks to his trusted team members while establishing clearer communication channels with partner organizations. Although the crisis was painful, it ultimately reinforced the belief that community strength was built on unity and shared responsibility. As the months passed, the program embarked on even more ambitious projects. A mobile outreach unit, once a hopeful concept, was finally launched with the donation of a refurbished van. Staffed by enthusiastic volunteers and equipped with essential supplies, the unit roamed the city's underserved neighborhoods, delivering not only food and clothing, but also crucial information about available services. Leonard recalled the bitter, lonely days he had once endured on the streets, and every stop made by the mobile unit served as a poignant reminder of his own journey from isolation to community. Each person who accepted assistance affirmed the transformative power of authentic human connection. Not every encounter was an immediate victory. New faces emerged, each carrying their own burdens. Jamal, a young man whose dreams had been crushed by harsh realities, initially met the program with skepticism. Yet, as he received personalized guidance and mentorship, his guarded demeanor slowly gave way to cautious optimism. One cool evening, beneath the soft glow of a street lamp, Jamal confided in Leonard, "I used to believe that no one cared about me. But seeing you and everyone here, I'm beginning to think that maybe I'm worth fighting for." Leonard's gentle response was, "We all face moments of doubt, but our true strength is shown when we continue to try, no matter how many times we fall." Their exchange resonated deeply, reinforcing the program's commitment to providing hope and a second chance to everyone who walked through its doors. Despite ongoing bureaucratic challenges and the inevitable setbacks, the steadfast support of the community, combined with the tireless efforts of volunteers and leaders like Leonard and Keanu, propelled the movement forward. Town hall meetings evolved into vibrant forums for debate and collaboration, and local businesses began offering job training and employment opportunities. Every small triumph, a secured job, a reunited family, a life rescued from despair, was celebrated as a communal victory, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. In the midst of it all, Leonard never lost sight of that initial spark in the subway. Even during the darkest moments, he recalled the day when a simple question shifted his destiny, fueling his determination to keep fighting. This memory served as a constant reminder that even the smallest gesture could lead to monumental change. With every new challenge, his resolve grew stronger, inspiring countless others to believe in the possibility of a better tomorrow. Amid the whirlwind of progress and obstacles, Leonard took a moment to reflect on the journey with a quiet determination. Late at night, sitting alone in the softly lit common room of the center, he penned letters of encouragement to new program participants and drafted proposals for future initiatives. His thoughts were filled with gratitude for every person who had dared to trust in the power of community, and he felt a profound responsibility to honor the promise that had been made on that chilly subway day. The city outside continued its relentless pace, but within the walls of the center, time was measured in small victories. A new smile, a story shared, a life quietly rebuilt. Each of these moments reinforced the belief that true change starts with the courage to care, and Leonard was more determined than ever to see that care ripple outward, touching lives in ways he had once only dreamed of. With renewed energy, Leonard embraced each new day as an opportunity to further the mission. The challenges were many, yet each obstacle only deepened his resolve. In the hum of the busy center, every shared laugh and every tear of relief reminded him that the journey was as important as the destination. In that quiet determination, each challenge was met with hope, and each setback became a lesson. The movement, like a living heartbeat, grew stronger with each pulse of compassion. As the program's impact rippled through the community, the story of Leonard and his transformation became a lasting beacon of hope. In a final celebration event held at the center, the air was filled with a sense of accomplishment and unity. Community members, volunteers, and even local officials gathered together to honor the journey that began with a simple question in a subway. The atmosphere was both festive and reflective, as speeches and heartfelt testimonials recounted the transformative power of genuine human connection. Leonard, now a seasoned mentor and leader, took the stage with humility and pride. His voice, resonant and calm, carried the weight of experience as he reminded everyone that real change is built on small, persistent acts of kindness. Every step we take, no matter how small, brings us closer to a future where no one is left behind, Leonard declared, his eyes scanning the room full of faces that had once been strangers but had become family. His words resonated deeply with the audience, evoking memories of struggles overcome and new beginnings forged. In that moment, the legacy of that life-changing subway encounter was not only preserved but celebrated. The community had grown stronger, united by a shared commitment to lifting each other up and proving that hope can indeed flourish in the most unexpected places. The event culminated in a symbolic gesture: a tree planted in the center's courtyard, its roots destined to mirror the growth of the program and the lives it touched. As the tree took root, so too did the promise of renewal and resilience. Leonard's journey, intertwined with the support of kind souls like Keanu, had come full circle. What began as a singular act of compassion had evolved into a movement that redefined the meaning of community support and personal empowerment. In the soft glow of the evening, as laughter and conversations filled the air, there was a palpable sense of optimism for the future. The program's success had not only transformed individual lives, but had also ignited a broader change within society. A reminder that every act of kindness creates a ripple that can change the world. And so, as the celebration drew to a close, the community carried forward a simple, enduring truth: that by caring for one another, we pave the way for a brighter, more compassionate tomorrow. As the final lights dimmed, Leonard stood amid the crowd, his heart full of hope and determination. In that moment, every face reflected the power of kindness, and the promise of a future built on compassion shone bright.